We recently sat down with 3 different coaches from 3 different sports to ask them some questions and try to see the differences in how coaches approach their games depending on the sport that they coach. So in this video, we've got Ivo, a golf coach, we've got David, a handball coach, and we have Nacho, a football coach. All 3 of these coaches have a wealth of coaching experience at different levels, so they were the perfect people to bring in for this, and all of them are based in Barcelona, Spain. So they were using their English as best they could, but I wanted to bring you guys some people that were in the top of their fields to answer some of these questions and their perspectives of the game. So sit back and relax, and let's see what these coaches have to say.
One of the biggest challenges I face as a coach is trying to get the best of my players, but keeping their feet on the ground. Try not to stress so much during a competition, but giving their best.
One of my biggest challenges as a coach is to create the right mentality in my players and create the ambition for them to want to improve in every training session and in every game.
I think it's important for the coach to find the motivation to their players. What is the objective? Individual and team objective. My job is find this motivation. I think it's very important to know each player. The best way to find this motivation is know why you can motivate, because you can find some tools to motivate one player, but this is not a motivation for another player. You need another way.
I think the best way to motivate my players is through my own knowledge. If they see and they can see that I can make them better players and they can give them something they don't have through my training sessions and through my comments I can have to them, I think that could be the best way.
I think the best way to motivate my players is let them know, let them feel that they can win anything. But again, it all comes if you stay patient and if you do the right job. The biggest lesson they learn from playing golf is, for example, that they have to be very humble, they have to work very hard and not expecting much, but they have to be sure that they're doing their best, and at the end they will get the prize.
I think it's important in a sport and in other facets of life to be your best version. For this reason, it's very important to improve constantly and make hard work.
So I think the best lesson they can take from football is maybe team spirit. I think it's something that football can make you understand, that by your own self you can't achieve anything in football and you have to count on your teammates and through your coaches. I take some inspiration from other sports, especially individual sports, because the scenario is quite different than in football, and maybe the way that, for example, tennis players, they have to focus in their own things and in themselves is the best inspiration for football players to take responsibility.
Yes, definitely. With any top player, we can get references. Most of them, they have one thing in common, that is hard work, and they work more than any other players from their own sport, and that's what they try to teach my players. The biggest role model, I would say, well, any top players at the end, they do the same, but we're talking about golf. I'm going to say Tiger Woods, which has been an example as a golf player by practicing harder than anyone. His mental strength is better than any other player. Yeah, his will to win and to improve his game, I think it's a very good example.
I think everyone needs to find their own way and their own way of life. It's important. You can watch another roles and other important people, but you must to conserve your own essence.
I think football players can take inspiration from many players. It's something that has to come by yourself. Someone can take inspiration from Cristiano Ronaldo because of his will to improve and his ambition. Maybe others can take some inspiration from Messi because his creativity and his talent. So I think it's something it depends on the players, but you can take inspiration from a lot of players.